The universe exists. It follows laws. It unfolds through time, and somewhere within it, awareness appears. The universe becomes conscious of itself. But where does consciousness come from? And is it something reality produces or something reality contains? The universe exists. It follows laws. It unfolds through time. Galaxies form. Stars ignite. Planets emerge from cosmic dust. Structure arises from simplicity. And somewhere within this unfolding process, something unusual appears: awareness. On at least one small planet, matter organizes itself in such a way that it begins to perceive, to reflect, to wonder. The universe becomes aware of itself. We call this phenomenon consciousness. But what exactly is it, and where does it come from? One view is that consciousness is produced by the brain, a byproduct of neural activity, a result of biological complexity. In this perspective, awareness emerges when matter reaches a sufficient level of organization, like a flame emerging from fuel. If this is true, consciousness is local, temporary, bound to biological systems. When the brain ceases, awareness disappears. But there is another way to look at it. Some argue that consciousness may not be created by the brain, but expressed through it. That awareness is not generated, but filtered, like light passing through a lens. In this view, consciousness could be more fundamental, not confined to organisms, but woven into the structure of reality itself. This idea appears in different forms. In philosophy, in panpsychism, they believe that consciousness in some form is a basic feature of existence. In physics, in questions about observation and measurement. In cosmology, in reflections on why the universe is intelligible at all. None of these ideas claim that rocks think or that stars are self-aware, but they suggest that awareness might not be an accident, that the capacity for experience could be embedded within the fabric of reality. There's a reason this question is so difficult. Consciousness is the one thing we know directly, and the one thing we struggle most to explain. We can measure brain activity, map neural pathways, model cognition, but subjective experience, the feeling of being, remains elusive. This is often called the hard problem of consciousness. Why does physical processing produce experience at all? Why isn't the brain simply an unconscious machine? We can imagine complex systems behaving intelligently without awareness. We can simulate perception, decision-making, even language, without inner experience. So why does experience exist? Some suggest it is inevitable that when information integrates beyond a threshold, awareness naturally arises. Others believe consciousness is tied to specific physical processes we don't yet understand. And still others wonder whether consciousness is less about brains and more about the universe observing itself. After all, every observation we make about reality occurs within consciousness. Every equation, every theory, every measurement, all are filtered through awareness. In this sense, consciousness is not separate from the universe, but part of how the universe reveals itself. Without observers, would reality still have meaning? Would law still matter? Would existence still feel like anything at all? These questions drift beyond physics, into philosophy, into metaphysics, into the limits of explanation once again. We can trace the evolution of stars, model the emergence of life, map the activity of the brain, but the leap from matter to experience remains one of the deepest mysteries we face. Is consciousness an emergent property, a rare phenomenon arising under specific conditions, or is it something more fundamental, woven quietly into the universe from the beginning? We don't yet know, but the fact that reality contains beings who can reflect on existence, who can ask why anything exists, who can contemplate laws, mathematics, and time, suggests something remarkable. The universe is not only structured, it is knowable, and within it, awareness has arisen capable of recognizing that structure. Is consciousness part of the universe, or is it something through which the universe experiences itself? We don't have an answer, but the question changes how we see our place in reality, not separate from it, but emerging within it, a fleeting point of awareness in an unfolding cosmic process. And perhaps that is enough. Not certainty, not conclusion, just the recognition that the universe exists, and somewhere within it, it has become conscious.